Beeswarm Simulator is updating soon, which is why what you do in the next 2 months is going to determine if you do well this Beesmas or absolutely fail. I see thousands of players make these mistakes, so in this video I'm going to be explaining what you actually should be doing right now to prepare for Beesmas and why this is so important. Alright, now starting off with the first one, which is the thing that most people usually wouldn't think of, and that's to be defeating coconut crab as often as possible. Now you might think, oh yeah, it's just because the rewards are good. No, I mean sure cocoa crab gives like star jellies and coconuts, but that's not the reason I want you to be defeating him as often as possible. It's because there's a good chance that this Beesmas on it's going to be releasing the coconut belt in the game. Now we don't actually have the cost of the coconut belt yet, but based off of the coconut clogs and canister, we can assume that this belt is most likely going to cost a lot of coconuts and even more tropical drinks, both things that you get a lot of when defeating coconut crab. So if you don't start saving now, there's a good chance that when the item actually comes out, you'll be super behind on tropical drinks and coconuts, and you're gonna have to be a few months behind everyone else. So most definitely make sure that you're defeating as many coconut crabs as possible before Beesmas, so that way you can stack up resources in order to buy the coconut belt. Now, while I could keep talking about how it's important to keep saving resources for new items, and given that is pretty important, there is a much more important thing you should be doing right now, and that's practicing consistency. Because sure, Beesmas is gonna come out, you probably haven't played Beeswarm in like 8 months, but the second this update gets released, you are going to be playing 24/7. The only problem is you haven't played this game for 8 months, and now you're playing 24/7. AKA, you're really not used to the game because it's been so long since you've joined. And so even if it's as simple as just going in and doing daily bosses or just grabbing a glue dispenser, it's nice to just get in the habit of logging in right now. Not only so that you're going to be used to playing normally when Beesmas comes out, but also just so that way you're familiar with the game, or in simple, you're basically just warming yourself up for this Beesmas. And if that isn't a good enough reason to start logging in 5 minutes a day, then we can just go back to getting resources for the new items, because there are going to be items more expensive than the coconut belt, and I assure you they're going to take a lot more than just tropical drinks to craft. So if you're not going to log in just so that way you get consistent, log in so that way you can afford the backpacks when they come out. But let's say you're losing a lot of motivation right now and you just don't really want to join the game. Well, that's what tip number 3 is, and that's macroing. I know it's silly and you're probably thinking like, yeah, I already macro. It is still just really important for Beesmas because it'll allow you to use the decorations as often as possible, complete hard quests, and basically buy all the super expensive things from Bear's catalog. Heck, it's the reason I have 1,000 extra gingerbread bears from last year. So if you don't macro already, please start macroing because it's absolutely crucial for doing well this Beesmas. And if you already do macro, make sure you're using the most updated macro. So if you're looking to tips as to which macro you should be using right now, I'll link the tutorial to download it down in the description. But that's nowhere near as important as tip number 4, which is stacking materials for boosts. Because Beeswarm is probably the most overpowered time to do boosts, make honey, macro, all of it. Because the Beesmas tree just provides so many boosts, not to mention you have snowflakes to provide even more boosts. So you want to make sure that you have everything completely stacked up. Gumdrops if you're a white hive, jelly beans, coconuts, stingers, a ton of glitter and field dice, super smoothies and purple potions, and all of the other items to ensure that you can boost as often as possible during Beesmas and just straight up make the most honey as you can. Because if there's any time to progress in the game, it's during Beesmas. So please make sure you're not underprepared for boosting. Which leads us on to tip number 5, the Honey Day event. Probably like the crown jewel of all of Beesmas. The boost that gives you ×2 pollen for 48 hours. Please make sure you're prepared for this boost. Remember that the second you claim your hive during Beesmas, you're given the Honey Day boost, and now you have 48 hours to get as much honey as possible. So before you even join the game, so make sure that before the 25th of December, which is the day Beesmas will probably come out, make sure that you've been practicing all the tips I gave in this video. Make sure that you have full nectars so you can boost a ton, and make sure you have people to help you boost. But hey, if you should be preparing for the update, you should also be preparing for leaks, because Onnit's definitely going to be leaking new things. This is around the time when he usually does it, so I'll most definitely be posting updates on all the latest Beeswarm news on this channel for the next 2 months. So honestly, you don't even have to subscribe. Just hitting the bell to get all the notifications when the videos come out is going to be much more effective. But anyways, with that said, thank you so much for watching this. I can't wait for the new leaks to come out, and I will see you guys in the next video.